A great day. Hope you're having a great day. Hope you're having a productive week so far this week. Hope your day brings you much success in life. Uh, may you treat others the way you want to be treated. You know, uh, you gotta. I think people gotta remember the golden rule when it comes to life. Treat others the way you want to be treated. Very, very simple, very simple concept, but I think a lot of people fail to understand those things. What's up, DCF? What's good? Perfect timing. Great, great. But uh, the question is, you know, do you believe in karma? I remember the song by Alicia Keys called, uh, you know, yeah, very simple but very important. I remember the song by Alicia Keys, "What Goes Around Comes Around." Uh, I don't know if y'all remember that song by Alicia Keys. She was very beautiful in that video, by the way. It was off of her second album, Diary of Alicia Keys. She had a song called Karma, and she would say, what goes around comes around. I often think about that song when I think about karma. Uh, karma being, when you do something to somebody, whether it's good or bad, it comes back to you. And a lot of people, I feel like they don't believe in that stuff. And I've seen I've seen karma firsthand. A certain person treat another person some kind of way. Other person treats them so good over and over again, but the other person continues to just be so evil to the other person. And then later on, they get in a predicament. The person that's done wrong, they get in a predicament where they really need that person. I've seen that happens, and I do believe in karma. When you do something wrong to somebody, I do believe it catches up to you in the long run. Because I've seen that happen firsthand to me. People treat me so bad, and then, things happen to them because not only have they done it to me, but they have done certain actions to other people, that people don't like. And so I do believe in karma, that sometimes when we do something to somebody, it's right back to you. But crazy comment. So yes, there you go. Respond to that. That's crazy. But anyways, B. Lee. Yeah, karma. Karma. I do believe in karma. What you do to others, it can come back to you. What goes around comes around. Also reminds me of that Justin Timberlake song, "What Goes Around Comes Around." I love that song as well. But that's why I had to start with the golden rule. A lot of people don't believe in the golden rule. Treat others the way you want to be treated. And if you don't, that karma hits you. Karma hits you because you've done wrong to somebody else. It'll eventually come back because those things will catch up. If you lie to people, you got to cover a lie with another lie. And those things catch up with people in the long run. And so, the simple thing is, treat others the way you want to be treated. And you'll find that you'll become fruitful in life. Things will come to you, even when you don't ask for it, because you treat people the way you want to be treated. And I feel It's a such thing as good karma as well. You treat people with respect. You know, people will look out for you when you need them, because you display respect for people. You know, DCF said, "I believe in what comes around goes around, but it may take months or weeks in different forms. I don't believe in the Hinduism. It comes back to you automatically." Yeah, yeah. And I gotta respect people that's in Hinduism up here, but I see what you're saying. I feel like it don't come automatically. It don't come quick, but I feel eventually, things come back around to people. If they do wrong to people, it can affect people in different ways. How people treat people, you know. I feel like, let the creator fight your battles sometimes. You don't always have to retaliate, you know. Just let the creator, whoever you believe, let God fight your battles. And, that's it, Because I remember when I was young, my dad used to tell me certain cases when he used to work, people treated him so bad. And eventually it came back to them because they treated people so bad, they started getting sick, things started happening to them. Not saying you want things to happen to people, but sometimes people put it on themselves. I think God gives the person a lesson. It goes around, then eventually comes around. Yep. Yeah, exactly. I think eventually things may come around to people. It may not come automatic like you said earlier. It might not come automatic, but eventually that thing comes back, But I believe in good karma as well. If you treat people with respect, you treat people decent, great things will come back in return. I do believe in good karma as well, not just bad karma. We don't always want bad things to happen to people, but I do believe I believe there's good karma and bad karma. I got something stuck to my shoe. What in the world? But anyways, people say some crazy stuff in here. But yeah. Yeah, just, try to, like I said, understand the golden rule. Appreciate you. I'm loving your ideas for the YouTube lives. I like what's on your mind. You seem like a genuine great. Appreciate you, DCF. Yeah, I just think about things that come to mind. Situations I see, or situations I'm around. Really inspires me with my lives. I used to do recorded videos on this channel, and I'm kind of getting away from it because I feel like I don't get no interaction as much as I do when I do my lives. And I love to talk personally to people, and then people, they may watch it later on and they feel like I'm really communicating with them. Being that I really want this channel to be a community of people, with different ideas, different concepts. You may be from Hinduism, you may be from Buddhism, you may be from Christianity, like I am. My background is Christianity, Islamic people. And it's great that I have all types of people on this channel to really talk about certain things. And also, if you want to support this channel, $ Open Mind Convo. Also, it's in my my bio, Cash App. Open Mind Convo. If you want to support this channel, you want to send me a cash app, or if you have a topic you want me to talk about, if you have a topic you want me to talk about as far as religion or motivation, yeah. DCF says, like some of these people that come and say crazy stuff, it shows their maturity. And yours, that's how I tell you, from a pure soul. Appreciate you. Yeah, I try to, I'm so used to YouTube now. You had trolls come in and they say some crazy stuff. I try not to pay attention to it because it kind of gets me off the subject. But I try to keep going. You had trolls come in and they just say all types of off the wall type stuff. But you just try to keep going with what you're trying to, what's on your mind, especially when you do lives, because people say some off the wall crazy stuff like like this guy in here. But yeah, appreciate y'all for being in here. Appreciate y'all for always watching. Like I said, if you want to support this channel, $Open Mind Convo, and I'll get to your topic as soon as I can. Again, appreciate y'all for being in here. Appreciate y'all for watching. Yeah, this channel has been a journey. Trying different things, trying different ways to communicate with you guys on this channel. What's one piece of advice you would tell your young adult self? That's a great question. I never had nobody ask me that question. I would say, like my mom used to always tell me, just do it. Just take the moment, seize the opportunity. Go in, certain opportunities scared. Sometimes you're not gonna always be comfortable with certain situations, but sometimes you just gotta jump into opportunities when it comes. I sometimes I regret not, taking as much knowledge as I should have, especially in my college years. Taking a lot of stuff for granted. Music theory. I was in music. I'm a good musician, but I feel like, some things I could have took advantage of a lot of different opportunities that came my way when I was younger. Not saying I don't have certain opportunities now in my field and what I love to do, but I would just do it, not hesitate. Less procrastination, don't procrastinate. I would tell my younger self. And just be yourself. I'll say just be yourself. It's better to go for it and fail than live your life regretting it. Yep. I'd rather have sad stories of regret. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and in the past I've had a few regrets. I wish I was a little more social in high school and stuff like that. But things happen for a reason. I feel things happen for a reason. I might not would have met my wife if I was more social in high school and stuff. I might have been with somebody else, you never know. But I feel things happen for a reason. Things happen for a reason. Because I used to be, I still sort of shy, but I used to be very extremely shy when I was in school, when I was younger. Sometimes I regret being that way, doing certain moments and just enjoying moments instead of being so introverted at times. That's why I like doing YouTube now. It kind of gets me out of my comfort zone. God may have been to protect you from the bad people in school. Yeah, yeah, correct. He made it. I've seen what happened to other people. They try to fit in DCF with people, and they found out that they in the wrong crowd, and their life ended up a certain way. Especially females, they might have ended up with the wrong guy. I've heard a lot of instances where, high school students, they end up in, or even early 20s, they end up in domestic relationships, domestic violence, and situations happen a certain way, because they didn't want to focus on what they really wanted to focus on. Not saying a lot of people, can prevent that from happening, but certain, circumstances, you know, certain people could have prevented those things from happening. Uh, you know, I had a cousin that got killed from gang violence. Got killed from gang violence, being with the wrong people. Trying to fit in with people. You may have been living through others and not for yourself, and you find really judge bad woman. Yeah. Like I said, things happen for a reason. Things happen in life for a reason. We don't know at the time why things or why you think a certain way as far as life is concerned, but it's for a reason. The Creator, God, Allah, whoever you believe in. God has a purpose for your life. The Creator has a purpose for your life. But it's your way, as you get older and you go through life, that you find, what it is, that's your purpose, and make it reality. Make it reality. A lot of people, like I mentioned in other videos, a lot of people don't even find their purpose until they get older. I just saw an 80-year-old man. I don't know if y'all saw an 80-year-old man on TV. He just got his degree in music, uh, and he just, what he needed to do in life, as far as as far as life. My take from DCF said, my take from this live stream is to be grateful. Everything happens for a reason. Have faith, patience, and kindness. Wow. Glad you got that from this live. Wish there was more people in here too. But again, appreciate you, DCF, for that what you got from this live stream. But going back to my initial conversation about karma, it all goes with the golden rule. Treat people the way you want to be treated, and you'll see life change for you for the better. What goes around comes around, like Justin Timberlake says, what goes around comes around. Whatever you put out in the world is what you get back. So hopefully, you contribute something positive to the world and not negative. And, you'll see what happened. You see what's happening to Diddy. He think he's, on the outside, it seems like he's this positive, go get it type of guy. But, behind closed doors, he's a totally different person. And you see the karma that comes back. I pray that Diddy, have a change of heart and he changed his ways. Greed can get to a person. Diddy was so huge and so famous. People from, the royalty, Michael Jackson, so many people was he knew, he was very popular. Diddy, he's very popular. And, those things got to him over time. Karma, treating people all types of ways, sexually, physically, those things come back to you. And that's why I kind of thought about this subject, because I was thinking about Diddy's situation, how, karma eventually catches up to you. uh, as far as life is concerned. It catches up to you. You don't know when, you don't know what time, what year, but things catch up to you. When you keep treating people a certain way, those things catch up to you. I've seen it happen in my own family. You know, family treat family wrong, and then things catch up, and they need you. And so again, appreciate y'all for being in here. Appreciate y'all for watching. Please subscribe to the channel. I truly feel bad for him, even though he did those things. I don't know why. Yeah, I feel bad for him. I feel bad for him. We don't. If you're a great, if you have a great character, you have great character. You don't want to see anything bad happen to somebody. But if somebody does something wrong, they have to receive the consequences. Even though you don't want to see people go through things, they have to get the consequences of their actions. And I believe it just caught up to Diddy. Things caught up, and he got to do what he have to do. Like DCF said, you feel bad for him, but things happen. The truth, like they said, the truth comes to the light. That thing that's done in the dark comes to the light, and I believe this is the light, the light moment for Diddy. As far as this trial, I believe this is the light, and people are seeing. Everybody's seeing who he really was throughout all these years. People are coming out the woodwork. Even saw like Lady Gaga, Michael, like Michael B. Jordan. A lot of people was on a hush for a long time. Eventually probably these sex tapes that happen, probably come out soon. And so it's a lot of things going on, but pray, that the truth will prevail. If he did it, he did it. If he didn't, I don't know if he's still going to be, people are going to really be with him, if he's released. These big figures always have this stuff leaked. Yeah. Yep. They say Illuminati and all this stuff. I do believe it. I believe. I just think Illuminati is another word for the enemy. Just evil. Evil. They talk about sacrifices and all this stuff, and I just think, I remember when I first heard about Illuminati. I was in college, and it really blew my mind the first time I heard about this stuff. It was a website where they had all like a whole bunch of volumes of videos about the Illuminati, and it was it was mind blowing. I'd rather be poor and my soul rich, and to God than rich in this world and my soul, to Satan, yep. But again, appreciate y'all for watching. Appreciate you, DCF, for your comments. Appreciate you for being in here. Hope y'all having a great day. Hope y'all be inspired. If you watch this video later, give me a thumbs up as well. And also, if you want to support, $ Open Mind Convo. If you enjoy this video, you enjoy this live, again, appreciate y'all for being in here, always supporting. Like I said, I love doing these lives. I like these better than doing my long form videos. Again, appreciate you, DCF, for being in here and really giving your input in this conversation. And hopefully people will look back at this video and give their input on this conversation. Again, appreciate y'all for being in here. Appreciate y'all for watching this conversation. Hope y'all having a great week. Hope you have a great productive week, that you get things done. I'm glad I got a lot of things done yesterday. Y'all know I'm a musician. Uh, got some things done already this week, so I feel like this is gonna be a great week, great productive week. And so again, appreciate y'all for watching. Appreciate y'all for tuning in, and see y'all on the next one. All right, peace.